man of self-control, the info is plain. If you don't know, feel that energy flow right into your brain. Your whole game will change. Soldiers retain, soldiers retain, soldiers retain. Real strong man of self-control, the info is plain. If you don't know, feel that energy flow right into your brain. Your whole game will change. Soldiers retain, soldiers retain.
Yeah, spiritual warriors. I don't know how that came across for you, but it was all like choppy on my end, so I had no idea where we were at in the song.
It was like speeding up and slowing down a bit.
Yeah. You know what it is? I upgraded to try to broadcast like a higher quality at the 1080p. And I think I need to plug in my internet or whatever it is, but it's all good. Anyways, we're here live and direct. We're going to be talking about doing a dopamine detox. So if you are a spiritual warrior, if you are a man in this world who wants to expand his consciousness, say yes. If that's you, you want to expand your consciousness. Yeah. You want to perform. Yes, it is. You want to perform better in the bedroom for your partner. Maybe you've been dealing with some performance issues, ED, porn-induced erectile dysfunction, still jerking it off all the time to porn and jerk and masturbating.
You jerks.
You're jerking it, you jerks. And you just want to perform overall better in your life. You just want to be a better man. And who doesn't want to be a better man? Only a fool says, no, I don't want to improve myself. I'm all good. Only a fool does that. So it doesn't matter whether you want more money, better sex, better relationships, more health, more vitality, and most importantly, a connection to God, G-O-D, baby, then you need to reject the modern world, because the modern world is actually killing you slowly. And I want to dive too deep down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole, but I love that rabbit hole.
But I'm in already.
But I'm already down there. I'm already way down there. But there's a possibility that there are some people on the planet that might be actually trying to demasculate you. Yeah, purposely.
No.
Not you. Yeah, you
Getting
too.
triggered by that.
Are you triggered? We were just talking about the Vikings and how like awesome, like back in the day, the world was a lot harsher and there were so many things, and now people are like, somebody says something, I'm so triggered. And it was like, a couple 100 years ago, you'd be lucky to make it to like 50 and not die of some horrible disease or get an axe to the back of the head. Like what, even like back in the day, like you'd go off to war as a man, right? Like a lot of time, like you'd go off to war. There was no cell phones. You couldn't text a dick pic and be like, look at this, baby. Look what I got, right? You couldn't get a nice titty pic to you. You were just like a bunch of guys out in the middle of the forest, sometimes for years on end. Who knows what your wife was doing or who she was doing, right? You'd come back and that was life. Now, people can't even go an hour or two without like, oh my God, my partner didn't text me. What's going on? Yeah. Like, oh my God. Yeah. It's like, so we got to reject this modern world. I know we have to do, but we have to do it if we're serious about being spiritual soldiers, about making an impact. It's not about going with the crowd. The crowd is going to hell. The crowd is depressed. The crowd is broke. The crowd ain't got goals. The crowd is watching porn and whatever else and playing video games all day and watching Netflix all day. The spiritual soldier's on mission, on task, on point, and is consistently improving. So that's what we want to do. And the best way to do that, take a dopamine detox.
A double D. Take a double D.
Yeah, I like me some double Ds.
You might need to take a double D from those double Ds, you jerks.
Double Ds. Yeah, you got to detox from the double Ds that's slapping up in your face. I could just boom. You ever watch that movie? What's that movie called?
Double D
Wedding Crashers.
Part 2.
Double D's Part 2. I've watched lots of that too. Yeah, when I was like I got the internet when I was like 18, 19. I think I was watching them Double D's right away. But that there's a movie called Wedding Crashers. It's an older movie, and there's this line where he's talking about like this woman puts her titties up in this guy's face, and his buddy's talking to him about it because he's all traumatized because he's like, yo, like I can't believe she just did that because he was not interested in her, and he was like, and it was this whole awkward situation, and it's Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn. And Vince Vaughn is like any of these guys are like comedians, right? Like funny men. And Vince Vaughn's like, what's your problem, man? A hot, beautiful woman put her titties in your face. You know, man up. Like, what's your problem, right? Did you motorboat them? Huh? You motorboating son of a bitch? Did you motorboat them? So, anyways, best way is to not engage in that stuff. And do the dopamine detox. Myself and Captain Jake, we're going to be talking about a simple process today so you can go on a dopamine detox. And of course, this is a semen retention channel. So we know number one at the list is semen retention, but we're going to talk about other things that can support your semen retention lifestyle, your overall masculine lifestyle, and ways that you can reset your life, reset your body, reset your mind, so you could take everything to the next level. Captain Jake, what's going down in your world, man? I know you're detoxing right now. What are you detoxing from?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a double D detox from social media, man, because although, you know, I need to use it for my music, for promotion, I can see that it's affecting my attention span, my ability to be present just by looking at it too much. It's hard to stay disciplined with it, and I'm just gonna look at it to do this post, and then you end up like scrolling through or whatever. And I can really tell, that it's affecting me. So, you know, I can't just quit it right now because I need to use it. I'm not going to run away from it, but I need to regulate it and be strict. And so I'm going to negate that. But what I'm going to replace it with is going for walks to, you know, be more present with nature and the world, and some reading, just like constructive engagement in stuff to learn stuff rather than just looking at the phone. So mine's social media, man.
Social media, that's fantastic. And I got a dopamine detox. I'm doing a 90-day detox, and I got a few things that I'm working on. One that I'm going to specifically talk about is no candy, no chips. I'm a Doritos guy. Some of that, the blue kind is Cool Ranch. Cool Ranch. My gosh, just thinking about it gets me going. Also, I'm detoxing from no TV at night, which has been like largely how I grew up. Watch TV, eat dinner, watch a bunch of TV, go to bed. That's just like, what I did growing up. And so I'm going to be detoxing for that over the next 90 days. We also got a dopamine detox 90-day program coming out starting July 4th. You're going to be able to get a video a day teaching you all the practices of sexual alchemy, meditations, breath work, lessons every single day. 90 videos plus, because there's all kinds of bonus materials, worksheets. It's going to be a world-class program. And so we're pre-registering guys now for guys who want to be the pioneers of this dopamine detox and come through. If that's you, go to the links in the description on my YouTube channel. Make sure that you send me a message saying, I want a detox. And I'm going to be guiding you through 90 days. Myself and Captain Jake will be working with you through 90 days of detox.
And that's the way you can find the time. So if there's something you want to give up at the moment, whatever time that is that you gain, do this program, use the video. Say if you're going to not watch TV for an hour or half an hour, that's half an hour, you get to do these practices and change your life and learn how to do this.
Yes. That is a perfect segue into our lessons, because it's not just about what you're giving up. Even probably more important than what you're giving up is what are you installing? So we're going to talk about negation goals, what you're going to detox from, but more importantly, we're going to talk about what you're going to do. So take a minute if you don't have one. If you have a minute, take a minute and grab a pen and paper or pencil and paper And that way you can do this with us right now. You could do this exercise. While I give you 30 seconds to go grab your pencil and paper, make sure for those guys who are already set up and ready to go, what's up? I think it's Ishan. I hope I'm saying that right, brother. Thanks so much for being here. We appreciate you. Paul Pitts, what's going down? 90 days, very good. Absolutely. And for everybody else, say what's up in the comments. Make sure you go sign up to the free ejaculation control guide. You'll also get on my email list where I'm giving tons of tips and advice that's exclusive for guys on my email list. Comes right to your email a few times a week, where you could check out more tips and strategies to improve your masculinity and improve your life as a spiritual soldier so that you can go live your mission. Because right now, Lord knows the planet needs more spiritual men, more men who are rejecting the modern world and establishing a new pattern for people to follow.
Because our mission is missing. Mission missing. It's close, that word.
Mission is missing. It is true. Most guys aren't living with a mission right now. They're just living whimsically. Most people, they just get up doing what everybody else is doing. Listen, when the crowd goes left, you go right. Never follow the herd. That's why we don't care about how many guys are doing this. We're just looking for the right guys. We're looking for the right souls on the planet that are ready to embody the spiritual warrior archetype. Because I'm telling you, tough times are ahead. You think it's tough right now. Tough times are ahead. As things go on, it's only going to get harder and harder. But it doesn't have to be that way for you. You can thrive instead of just survive. You can feel alive. Give me another word that rhymes with that. Come on, man. You're the rapper here.
Hive. Don't follow the hive.
Follow the hive. Yeah, don't be part of the hive. Learn to survive. No, don't be.
And get back your drive.
Yeah. Don't be part of the hive. Don't be part of the hive. Learn to enhance your drive. You could do more than thrive. You could do more than survive. You can thrive.
Yeah. Catchphrases.
Spiritual soldiers key. Jive. All right, let's do this.
We're all missing our mission, so listen.
Nice. Here's what you're doing on your piece of paper, fellas. You're doing a T-graph. T-graph. All right, one side of the T-graph, you're going to write the word detox. And the other, and then the other word that you're going to use on the other side, you're going to write positive. What's the opposite of a detox? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like adding, gaining. I don't know. There's not like an actual word.
Yeah, I don't think there's an actual word for that, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I guess intox, but that's like part of. We don't want to do that either. Okay, so here's what my paper looks like. Detox. Let's work on the detox side. So what we're talking about is a dopamine detox. So what exactly are we talking about? So first of all, if you're unfamiliar, dopamine is your motivation or your reward. It's not even really your motivation. It's truly like a reward circuit, okay? When you do something in which nature deems good, you get a little dopamine. So for example, when you eat, you get dopamine because when we were living in the caves, and food was so scarce, we had to go and look for food. And when we would eat food, we would be like, yeah. And we would feel that, yeah, that's that dope. We also get dopamine from sex. In fact, sex is the highest dopamine reward you can get. Nothing gives you more dopamine than sex. That's why porn is so addictive. Because it mimics or it stimulates that dopamine response because the subconscious mind or your body does not know the difference between whether you're jerking off or you're watching porn or you're actually getting laid. Now, it does know that it doesn't consciously know the difference, but it responds to it. Now, it doesn't respond to it the exact same. When you're watching pornography, scientists has shown that your dopamine can spike up to 200%. That's unnatural levels of dopamine. What happens is when you're getting unnatural levels of dopamine, which we all are in this modern world, unless we're spiritual soldiers and we're rejecting it, is that what ends up happening is your dopamine receptors get damaged because all this dopamine is rushing. And your dopamine receptors are like, yo, I can't handle all this dopamine. So what it does is it gets damaged or it shuts down. When it shuts down or it's damaged, that's when you feel lazy, lethargic, unmotivated, depressed, full of anxiety, social anxiety. You see a woman, you can't go up to her. You see you're full of problems. And you can see right now, mental health, suicide rates, obesity rates, everything is skyrocketing on the negative side of life, mainly because we are living unnatural lives. So dopamine in itself is not a bad thing. We love dopamine. Nature, God is so perfect. He designed this body beautifully. But if you misuse it, it ain't going to work. What's happening right now is we're misusing our body. We're tricking ourselves. And that largely comes from a philosophical debate, which we won't dive into too deep today because I want to get into the exercise. But just to plant that seed is that if you don't know the purpose of life, if you believe the purpose of life is simply to pleasure yourself, and that's what this atheistic material life that we have right now, that's what's in the world, that's what's dominating the consciousness of the world, that's what we get. Because life isn't just about pleasure. Yes, pleasure is part of life. Even in the book, the Kama Sutra, which is supposed to be the sex guide of all time, if you actually read the Kama Sutra, not just the sex positions like the Western world has done, right? It's actually a full book about life. One of the first rules of the Kama Sutra is sex comes after responsibilities, meaning your bank account's full, your health is right, your relationships are good, your family's taken care of. All right, now you get to have a little bit of pleasure, right? That's even in the Kama Sutra. Of course, nobody talks about, right? They just think it's a sex guide, but it's a lot more than that. It was a guide of life. And again, one of the rules was it's got to be sex needs to be put in its place. It's part of life, yes, but is it the whole of life? There's a famous yogi, Sadhguru, who said, if you make one aspect of your life the whole of your life, you'll suffer. Because even with all the techniques that we teach, where you can have sex as long as you want, you can experience non-ejaculatory orgasms, you could please your woman, you could feel higher senses of pleasure, all of that stuff's available. But even with all that, it ain't like you're going to just be having sex all day. Because then what's going to happen to your bank account? What's going to happen to your career? What's going to happen to your other goals? Don't make pleasure your goal of life. If you make pleasure your goal of life, you will suffer through this entire life. And that's what's happening on a mass scale. People are living unconsciously, and the marketers and the freaking so-called leaders, right, who just are more like pirates who exploit people, they know all this. That's why they don't do it themselves, but they push it out onto the world because they know that if they can get you always thinking about pleasure, comfort, you're going to consume more. You're going to buy more, and it feeds their false economic machine. And that's what we need to reject. That's what we're training guys how to do. And you can't really be a major player in the game if you yourself are so dependent on that machine. So dopamine is not bad. We just want to get it in the most natural ways. So let's talk about some things that we can detox from. All right. So the first thing that we could detox from is, of course, porn. Porn. No porn. No FAP. Another thing we could detox from is masturbation. Masturbation is also a form of getting dopamine, especially masturbation with ejaculation. So at least if you're going to masturbate or you're going to consciously self-cultivate energy, that's different because the intention is different. That's what we teach inside of the dopamine detox inside the army. We teach you how to have non-ejaculatory sex and how to masturbate without ejaculation to cultivate energy. But that's being used in a very specific way. We're not talking about you just rubbing one out because you feel tense or because you're horny. You got to use that horniness in a different way. All right, Captain Jake, you're detoxing from
social media.
Social media. Social media, one of the ways that we got dopamine in a natural way is by having friends or having social circles. So when, but because recognition, it's like fame, recognition. Ooh, someone liked me. Someone gave me a hand clap. We get dopamine from that. It's pleasurable. It's a reward. Social media plays on that. It's no different than like a casino. The Facebooks, the Zuckerbergs, and of the world. They figured out that the more likes someone gets, the more dopamine they're getting. It's like the more validation, external validation you're getting. And because of that, we could become hooked on social media. Also, when we're scrolling, every time we see a new stimulant, it's like, whoa, like think about Instagram models, right? The reality of you seeing a model-like woman, every single day, like the amount of hot women that we can look at because of the internet is insane. Our fathers, even my own father, like he never saw that many hot women in his life. Why? Because that's not the reality of the world. Like we're not always looking at tens type of thing, right? So what happens is on Instagram, you could spend your whole time just scrolling through all these women, scrolling through Facebook chicks, blah, blah, blah. You ever going to bang them? Nope. You going to have a relationship with them? Nope. All of that is giving you dopamine, but what it's doing is it's dulling your senses that when you meet a real woman, you can't get turned on by her, or you're not attracted to her, or you're full of anxiety because you've messed up your brain. So social media is another... go ahead.
Also, again, it tricks you into thinking you're having some real relationships, just like porn tricks you into thinking you're actually having sex, and the body rewards you thinking, well done, you've propagated the species, when really you just sat there on your own. Similarly with social media, you have a few likes, a few comments, even DMs, and you think, oh, I've got friends, relationships. It's like, it's not real. Like, in some level it is, they're people, but it's not like a real personal relationship, and it tricks us into thinking we've been interacting with people, talking to people all day, that we've got these people in our lives. Just tricking us.
It negates the other hormones like serotonin. Like when you hug someone, like studies show that when you hug someone for 30 seconds to like a minute, serotonin is released in the body as like a feel-good substance. Serotonin is much more like, it's not like dopamine's like a reward, but serotonin is like your happy drug. Like, oh, I'm happy, I'm content, I'm peaceful. So social media doesn't give you any of that. That woman that you're staring at, she doesn't even know you exist. But yet what you're doing is you're wiring in your mind some connection with her. And again, it's a false sense of connection. So social media, here's another one. Sugar. Sugar is natural. Sugar in fruits is actually where we're supposed to be getting our dopamine from. Our ancestors knew that a fruit was really ripe when it was really sweet. But you'll notice that because of how much processed sugar's in everything. You're having ketchup, you're having this, that. They put sugar in everything, cereals. None of that stuff is good for you, because all of that sugar, they're putting that sugar into it to make you get dopamine, so you feel like I'm getting a reward, so that you crave it more and more and consume it more and more. So when you can detox yourself from replace it with real sugars. You'll notice just within a few weeks to a month that when you eat a fruit, it'll be so sweet. Like if you're eating all the sugar stuff and you eat an apple or a mango, it'll be like, whatever. But you detox off the processed sugar and go back to nature's sugar. Now you eat that same apple, you eat that same mango in a month, and it's like, whoa, how sweet is that? And of course, it's got all the fibers, and nature made it perfectly, so your body knows how to use it all up. So sugar, on the same line of sugar, salt. I just switched from the white salt to pink Himalayan salt. Again, salt is natural. Salt could be good for you. But what they're making in factories and pumping out all this processed salt, not good for you. Okay? Paul says artificial sugar, yes, the enemy, the devil, one person called it the devil. Yeah, absolutely. You know, whether you call it Maya, which is from like the Vedic scriptures, which means like illusion, the illusory energy, or Mara. Mara is what the Buddha called it, or the devil is how Christianity has interpreted it. It's all the same. They're talking about the same principle. The things that we do that are not natural or that are taking us off course, they're taking us away from God, and they're putting us more into the material consciousness where all your suffering and all your depression and all your hellish life is. So whether you call it the devil, Maya, Mara, I don't care what you call it, as long as you understand what is natural, what is spiritual, and what is material. If you can distinguish between those, and you can use your intelligence, your discernment, which is natural in you, actually. Everybody knows. Think about when you drank beer. Oh, there's something else you could detox from. Alcohol. Alcohol is another killer of us, right? So alcohol is a poison. Cigarettes, weed, all of this type of intoxication.
What about caffeine?
Yes, caffeine. Caffeine is a stimulant. Now, what's really interesting is the Mayan people, I learned this when I was in Mexico, the Mayans, they would take caffeine like the beans, and they would suck on it because they were for energy, because they were trekking long distances. So to me, that would be like a natural way of doing caffeine. But going down to Starbucks and ordering a sugary mocha choca loca or whatever the heck it is, you know, they've got all these fancy names, you know. I like a grande mocha choca with 3 locos or something like that. I'm like, man, they don't even just serve coffee anymore. Anyways, caffeine is another thing. It stimulates you. Any of these things. So what do we got? Porn, masturbation, social media, sugar, salt, alcohol, cigarettes, weed, caffeine. What else? Anything else? There's probably so much more. I just say TV, like TV in general. Yeah. TV, Netflix, that kind of stuff. Oh, video games. That's another huge one. So many guys are addicted to their video games, hours and hours. And look, and I'm not telling you never have to do these things again, like never play a video game again or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, you could take a detox. And if you're dependent on it, then you definitely should detox from it. You don't want to be dependent on anything, because then you become a slave to that. And you can't be free if you're dependent on something. If you need video game, or you can't be happy, or you're bored all the time, it's time to detox from it. Guys, do you have any other suggestions? Captain Jake, you got any suggestions? Leave any other suggestions.
Gambling, if people gamble, maybe they might want to do that.
Also,
maybe gossiping, you know, or
nice.
Unnecessary talking or negative talking, complaining, things like that. Being the victim. Please negate that. I'm sick of it.
Gossiping. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's a great one. You know what? For some of the guys know, I was involved with politics. I say I was because I just, as part of my own detox, decided to step away from that. Because I was just like, it's too negative for me. I need to detox myself from that environment, and I need to focus on the spiritual solutions and not the material solutions. I'm really happy I was involved with politics for the last few years. You know, I fought for what I believed in, and I still believe in it. But I recognize over time that the real problem is not the politicians. The politicians, not all of them. There's some great people in that world, and it you know, you get caught up in it. So, but most of them, they have no spiritual knowledge. They don't know actually the purpose of life. So they also believe life is all about pleasure and consumption, and they see advancement only as material.
Yeah.
And so all of their policies and their things are gained to that. And you know what I've learned? They also know, some of them are really smart. They know actually what's right or wrong, and they still promote what's wrong because they know the people, it's not popular to promote what's right.
Yeah, so also the people have that lack of knowledge. So leaders represent the people actually.
That's right.
So we shouldn't be surprised why we have these people. There's one lyric I had: a leader represents the people, so look no further than yourself for real evil. That's the reason why they cheat you.
Yeah. Mic
So we
drop.
need to, yeah, whether it's them or us, whoever, we all need to change our consciousness. That's the real revolution.
That is the real revolution. It's a shift in consciousness, and the politicians aren't going to do it because they largely don't even know. And even those that do know, some of them are exploiting the situation, and the mainstream media and all, they know. But anytime, like, I tried to use the political platform to get this message out, and they just blasted me, and the woke left is all there doing their thing and all that stuff. And not all of it's bad. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not about left wing or right wing. It's about a shift in consciousness. And when we have a shift in consciousness, then these politicians won't even be able to do it anymore.
Yeah, you can only be cheated if you want to be cheated. That people go on about, oh, the politicians are cheaters, but they're only there because people like to be cheated. So
that's right.
if you can't be exploited, if you can't be cheated, then they can't. There's no space for that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's right. People want to think that it's everybody else's fault, right? It's the politicians screwed me over. No, the politicians didn't screw you over.
It's a result of consciousness. All of that, everything happening. We don't want to admit, but it's a result of our consciousness.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. And
we don't deserve better leaders than this.
Yeah, pretty much. Too much egotism is bad too. Being overly prideful
pride
over the wrong things. Yeah, absolutely. So
false pride is a good one.
All right, guys. So you guys get it. So on one side of the page, you're writing all the things you're detoxing from. Now, here's what I suggest. That's a lot. Like, let's say you're doing all of it. Like, you're, having beers, smoking weed, watching porn, gossiping, playing
all at the same time.
And the truth, all at the same time. It's just and the truth is, if I look at this list, man, that's a regular day for a lot of people. That is seriously. Watch porn, jerk off, ejaculate, look at a bunch of social media stuff, have some sugary breakfast or lunch or salt, maybe have a beer or two, smoke a joint or smoke a cigarette, have a coffee, watch some Netflix, play some video games, maybe you're gambling, gossiping. That's just life. So a lot of times people are like, I'm detoxing, and then they don't know what to do because they're like, this is all I do. This is what I do. Right? That's why you have to have the positive side of it. Because more important than what you're detoxing from is what you're going to do. So what are some positive replacements? For example, porn, instead of that same time that you use to watch porn or scroll through social media, you can now do your sexual alchemy practices. Sexual alchemy consists of meditation, breath work, mindful movements. You can read good old-fashioned books, like books. Get a Kindle if you need, or get like paperback books, old school, right? Reading is awesome. You learn a lot. You feel good because you're getting smarter. Even if it's it doesn't always have to be like let's say personal development or something. Even if you're reading a fiction story, that it's still better than movie because your imagination is now at play. You're picking up vocabulary. Your focus. Reading in itself is like a meditation because you have to focus and retain. There's so many benefits to reading. So read more. Sugar. Well, fruits.
Or just healthy food.
Yeah, healthy food. Start, go right now and take all of the crap in the cupboard, throw it out. Don't be like, oh well, it's there, I'm gonna finish it.
If it's there, you're gonna eat it, man. That's why I just don't. I just get it. If I today I'm gonna have something, I'll buy it. But if I'm not, I just won't, because I know if it's in the house, I'll just definitely have it. So just don't even get it. Like
Yeah, you have to eliminate temptations. Go if you've got alcohol around and that, like, go dump it out. Like, do those hard things. Throw your weed out. Like, go dump it down the toilet. Like, get rid of the temptations. Instead of caffeine, go to like a caffeine-free tea. If you still, because a lot of it is just a habit, so you can replace the habit by replacing it with something good. Instead of sugary juices, take time to make a real fruit juice. You'll notice you need less of it. It tastes amazing and you feel good. And that's what it's all about. TV, go work out or play a sport. Working out, playing sports is better. Physical hiking, physical exercise.
Walk, go for a walk.
Walking, camping, get out in nature. You're going to get your serotonin. You're going to get your feel-good connections. Yeah, this is a great suggestion here. I don't have a name, just an alien face. So our alien friend here, who's come from the ethers into our YouTube broadcast, says, listen to affirmations, binaural beats, positive vibe music instead of negative news and music. Topics of gossip. Yeah. You know what? I just started going to the gym. And, they've got like the news and all that stuff on the TVs playing. But what I do is I've got a couple audio books that I pop into my headphones. And that way I put my hood on, I put my audio headphones on, and I'm working out. And that way I'm into my audio book. So you can be listening to that kind of stuff too. Instead of gambling, if you're into gambling and such, again, go play sports. And here's another one that most people don't think of, and it's a human need. Social life.
Yeah.
Social life.
Instead of gossiping, talk with good friends, real good like-minded friends and hang out with them.
Join clubs. There's book clubs, there's sports clubs, there's chess clubs, there's camp, there's whatever interests you may have. There's other people that have that. And the beauty about the internet is that we can now connect with people locally and people all over the world that share the same interests as us. So what I want you to do, here's your exercise for today. You're going to pick 1, 2, or 3 of these, maximum 5, depending where you're at. If you're really down in the gutter, just pick one thing. You don't have to go 0 to hero. You could constantly be improving. Pick one thing that you're going to detox from. Then get off, and then take your, pick what you're detoxing from, write it down. Then pick what you're going to replace that habit with, write that down, put it somewhere where you could see every day, then set a goal. Maybe if it's the first time you're ever doing a dopamine detox, do it for 3 days. Boom, get it done. 3 days, 72 hours, you're going to feel great. In 72 hours, you're going to feel way better. Maybe you're a little stronger, 7 days, maybe 30 days. And for the real players, you're going to come do the 90 days with us inside the dopamine detox. Whatever it is that you do, take action right away. Don't just listen to this. Don't just be like, yeah, that was great. Act upon it. It only works if you act upon the information that you learn. So guys, I want to appreciate everybody who came, hang out with us live. Make sure, you subscribe, you like. We're on our way to 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, so make sure you help us get there and hit that subscribe button. If you got a channel or something, you can share this out. That would be a huge help for the mission. As spiritual warriors, it's our duty to go out there and promote good and positive things. It's not a matter about how many people we reach. It's about that we're doing our work, and God will send the right people to you. And you've got some resources in the links below. Captain Jake, you got any final words?
No, got my list, and I'm looking forward to doing it. Already feels more fresh. It's just good to keep on top of these things, keep on addressing them, refining what we need to be doing. So yeah, I'm gonna look at this, and I'm looking forward to seeing guys who want to join us for the 90 days, because all of these practices that we have really the things to replace all of these things with. You won't need to do these things once your energy feels so good. It's much easier to, when you're feeling, you get a higher taste, you just feel so good that those things you don't even want to do anymore.
Yeah, just like I don't even want to do that because I know that's just going to take me to a place I don't want to be. And eventually it doesn't even become an issue for you.
Yeah.
No matter what you're facing, you know you can transform it. The power's within you. Don't do it by yourself. Get mentors. That's why we exist. The only reason that I've been able to make some of the great positive changes and continue to work on myself is because of mentors. Look, I want to get I want to put on more muscle mass. I want to get stronger. First thing I did, I went and got a trainer. Why? Because I know the difference between going at it by yourself and going at it with someone who's already got the results, someone who's already living the life, someone who has the knowledge, who can help you course correct, who can help you avoid the massive learning curves. It's way easier. It saves yourself tons of money in the long run. You know, investing in yourself saves you money. It saves you a ton of time. Why go 2-3 years struggling when you can do it in 60 to 90 days and get on to better things? And you get that all that extra knowledge that you can use for the rest of your life. The number one investment that you can ever make is the investment into yourself. So believe in yourself enough to reach out, to connect. Let's jump on a call and let's do this dopamine detox together. All right. I love you guys. I got a video coming out for you on my YouTube channel this Saturday, so make sure you get notified for that. And then next Wednesday, we'll be live again with another lesson to help you as spiritual warriors.
Soldiers retain. Real strong men are self-control. Their info is plain. If you don't know, feel that energy flow right into your brain. Your whole game will change. Soldiers retain. Soldiers retain. Soldiers retain.